Kendrick versus Drake was not in my 2024 bingo card. I mean, I feel like we all knew that both of them had issues stemming from Kendrick's Control verse in 2013, but I just didn't really actually believe that they'd really be sparring, you know? I just didn't see them actually going back and forth with the tracks like this. I just never really saw it happening. So this right now is great hip-hop for me, and to be honest, I'm also talking in a very unbiased way because, I mean, Look what I'm wearing. My team already lost.
How many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a fucking microphone?
It actually hurts me right now to go on Twitter and see everybody just clowning J. Cole because I really feel like Cole could have been in this battle. I feel like Cole had a place in this and Cole could rap. So like, nigga, why would you just... Anyway, Kendrick versus Drake is really going to be going down in history as one of the best rap battles, if not the best rap battle of all time, because I feel like what Kendrick stands for is completely different to what Drake stands for, and everybody kind of knows this. Everybody looks at this battle and there's kind of two sides, right? Kendrick isn't really in it for this popularity contest. Kendrick doesn't really make music consistently for, you know, streams and views and sales and stuff. Kendrick is more of an artist that drops whenever he feels to drop, and he drops projects that actually have real meaning behind them. He's not one of those artists that just drops consistently, right? And nothing is wrong, by the way, with being an artist that just drops music consistently all the time, right? But I feel like Kendrick isn't that. Kendrick is more of an album artist, and he drops whenever he feels like he has something to say. Drake, on the other hand, is an artist that is always in the spotlight. He's always dropping music. You know, his music isn't really following one specific genre either. Drake drops pop songs. He hops into different genres as well, whether it be, you know, house music, dancehall, as I said, pop music, of course, rap. Drake is kind of that artist that is just consistently dropping like a machine, right? So I would say it's two completely different artists from two different backgrounds and clashing together right now in, as I said, probably the best rap battle of all time. Because I never grew up with the Biggie and Tupac beef. Of course, I know them songs now, but I was way too young to really be engrossed in that beef. Same thing with, you know, Jay-Z and Nas. I just wasn't old enough to really be, you know, having my ear to the streets to see what people are saying. Like, it didn't even have social media back then. So I feel like this battle is kind of like a new age rap battle where social media is involved, commentators giving their 2 cents on it. It's just a different time. Now, the reason why Kendrick and Drake are even beefing in the first place is a complicated scenario, right? Kendrick and Drake had issues stemming back, as I said, from 2013 when Kendrick dropped that insane Control verse on Big Sean's album, right?
Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake.
And I guess Drake took offense to that. Drake was like, you know what, bro? I don't like how you name dropping me, saying how you're the best rapper, saying how you're gonna demolish me. I don't fuck with that. And I guess in that situation, I could kind of understand Drake because Drake was always vying for the top position. So I feel like he was taking that as a threat. But also I could see why some people would say how Drake was being a little bit too sensitive with taking, you know, offense to Kendrick's Control verse, because rap is our sport. You're supposed to say that you are the best. You're supposed to say that, listen, I do this, and I'm about to kill all your niggas if I need to, and that's just where it needs to be. Kill you all lyrically, of course, because we don't condone violence. Like, I really hope that this beef doesn't take a violent route, because Kendrick and Drake are two generational artists, right, that I grew up on, that I feel like we want to see them both live. So, this beef could go that way though. Like, this beef has the potential to become violent real quick based on the allegations that are being pushed out. And I'll talk about that in a sec. Now in 2024, I feel like this beef is more amplified because of First Person Shooter, which was a song that Drake had that Cole was on. I'm hearing that Kendrick was supposedly supposed to be on that song first because Drake sent a feature request. Apparently Drake didn't put Kendrick on the song because Kendrick was talking crazy, and he replaced Kendrick with J. Cole. Kendrick maybe took an offense to that, and obviously we had the Like That record on Metro's and Future's album, right? So it was just animosity and hatred that was just kind of stewing for years. I feel like Kendrick really despises Drake. Kendrick do not like that nigga Drake, and Kendrick has inspired me to hate some more. I feel like watching Kendrick has shown me that, you know what, bro, I haven't reached my maximum hating capabilities as yet, because the way that this nigga hating on Drake right now, this is true hatred. This is true hatred. Now, even though this beef is kind of all fun and games for us, and like, you know, we just kind of watching as consumers and watching our favorite artists go back and forth, some of these allegations that are being, as I said, spewed out in these diss tracks are kind of insane. In multiple diss tracks, Kendrick was alluding to Drake being a predator or a sexual, which is some heavy ass allegations. That's some heavy ass career damaging allegations. And in his recent record, Not Like Us, of course, which is that song is fire, bro. Honestly, Kendrick, for all your hate, let me get a little bias for a second, right? For all of your, for all your haters who were saying that, you know, Kendrick can't make a club banger, Kendrick can't make a hit song, fuck y'all, because Not Like Us is a fucking fire ass song, bro, and it's probably the biggest song out of all of these diss tracks. It's catchy as fuck. It can play in the club. Anyway, let me stop being biased. Let me go back to being unbiased. Yeah, and Not Like Us, Kendrick was, basically alluding to Drake being of that sort, having, sex trafficking and stuff. Really, really heavy allegations, right? But outside of those heavy allegations, he also kind of was talking about Drake and Drake's position in the culture, which I feel like is really interesting because I know for a fact that everybody could understand what Kendrick was saying when Kendrick said that Drake sometimes could come across as somebody who's a culture vulture. In Not Like Us, he was basically saying how he was using other rappers like Young Thug and Future and 2 Chainz and shit to really kind of cement himself as a black man, as a rapper. And even in Euphoria, he said that, how many black features until you feel like you're black enough, which is a fire ass bar because he obviously mean features as in songs, as in featured artists on your song, or you doing features for black artists, but he also means features as in, the way you dress, the way you style yourself. Drake obviously has kind of changed his appearance a lot over the years. So, Kendrick was just making not really making allegations, but he was really just shedding light on Drake's stance right now, or Drake's position in black culture, which is a very interesting angle to take because I really feel like a lot of people would agree with what Kendrick is saying. Of course, the OVO fans and Drake fans gonna be like, bro, fuck that, it's rap, who cares, But I feel like those who are more deep in it and have been noticing that might, really agree with what Kendrick is saying. Me, I'm just observing. I'm just enjoying the ride. Now, on Drake's side, right, Drake also made some very heavy allegations, basically saying that, Kendrick was assaulting his wife, which is very, very heavy. He was also saying that in his recent song that he was basically saying that Kendrick was only talking about or alluding to Drake being because Kendrick was assaulted as a little boy. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because I feel like you know what? I know how I feel about that. That's a terrible angle to use. Like, that's actually kind of backhanded, because imagine you talking to somebody who actually went through some shit and they were actually assaulted when they were young. And because they are bringing up a situation, or they are basically just kind of like saying that something looks like sexual assault, or they are basically saying that this is sexual assault, you go and tell them you only saying that shit because when you were young you were played with. The fuck? And Drake was also saying that Kendrick is an absentee father because he doesn't take pictures with his kids. He's also saying that Kendrick doesn't visit his wife and he's living far away from his wife and his kids in New York and not in LA. Oh yeah, and he also said that Kendrick's child, his kid is actually his friend's kid, his business partner's kid, Dave Free. Oh yeah, and Drake also revealed in this recent song, The Hard Part 6, that he basically fed Kendrick all this information about him being, having an 11-year-old. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Kendrick also said that Drake has an 11-year-old daughter. So what I was saying before is that in this song, The Hard Part 6, Kendrick is basically saying that, bro, I fed you information to make you think I had an 11-year-old daughter. I was basically just seeing if you would take the bait. Honestly, at this point, bro, I feel like both these niggas lying, because who is telling the truth? Like, who really telling the truth? I haven't seen receipts. I haven't seen proof of any of this. They could both just be capping. They could both just be hearing stories through the grapevine and running with that shit to make a diss track. I don't know. So you can't really judge these diss tracks as yet because we don't have proof. I feel like the first person to really bring solid proof of anything is going to win. And even though I feel like Kendrick is up right now, I feel like Kendrick is up because of the fact that Kendrick has public favor. I feel like Kendrick's songs are just resonating more right now, which is kind of surprising to me because Drake has always done a great job of like connecting with the general public. I feel like Drake makes songs that are more easily digestible by the general public, but for some reason Kendrick right now is beating him at his own game, which is kind of insane because, as I said, Not Like Us is a banger, bro. That song is probably going to be the song of the summer. That song is fire. So I feel like that's why Kendrick is winning. I also feel like Kendrick is winning because this is kind of biased, but this is just my opinion, right? I feel like when Kendrick is rapping, bro, even though Kendrick isn't as easily digestible as somebody like Drake, right? When Kendrick says certain things, it just hits more because of his delivery and his animation. Like, he doesn't even have to say the most insane things, but the way he delivers. When Kendrick is rapping, bro, his delivery and animation and his cadences are just so interesting one and entertaining to listen to, which is why I feel like he might be leading in this beef. He just takes different angles in the way that he says shit and how he says shit and when he says shit and how he structures songs. So I feel like that's why Kendrick is winning right now. But to be honest, I can't even say that Drake hasn't had good songs, because Drake has been putting up a decent fight. Like, he had Part 6 is a decent comeback. I would say it's not like us level, but it's a decent comeback, kind of addressing the main allegations that Kendrick was saying about him being a SE. Right? And also Family Matters was a great diss, bro. This was 45 minutes, of course, before Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams. But when I first listened to Family Matters, I was like, this is actually a good song. Like, this is a good comeback. Kendrick, what you gonna do? You know, so Drake is still putting up a fight. I wouldn't say that Drake is just out here getting beat. You know, like, Drake is still, he's still in there, he's still ducking, he's still weaving. But Kendrick is up. But honestly, I am just excited to be alive right now and experience a rap battle of this epic proportion. Because I didn't feel like, this would happen this year. And as I said, I feel like a lot of us have never really been alive to see a rap battle of this magnitude take place. Of course, we had Drake and Pusha T, but Pusha T is not on a Kendrick level. Of course, we had Drake and Meek Mill, but Meek Mill is not on a Kendrick level. I feel like this is Drake's match. Drake has met his match. And yeah, who do you guys think is up right now? Leave your comments down below. This is a very interesting time to be a rap fan. It's just too funny. Even Metro dropped a Drake diss track type beat and invited SoundCloud rappers to get on that shit for a free beat. So even though Metro was making drums, nigga, Metro get the whole underground to come and rap on his beat to this Drake. That's our chess move, Drake. That's our chess move. That is our chess move. Can't even be mad at it.